Hey everyone, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel. I'm about to go for my haircut. Today has been a very busy day, but I wanted to hop on here and make a video talking about how I learned to manage my time, which is synonymous with how I learned to do things when I didn't want to do them, which I talk about all the time. It's a recurring topic that we have to cover over and over and over again. And the reason why we have to cover it over and over and over again is because it's such an important piece of the OCD and anxiety recovery journey. Before I go any further, please subscribe. Phil at OCDrecovery.com. Let me know what you think. Please start the email with, hey, you're a loser, Phil. We love you. No, that makes no sense. You're a loser, Phil. We love you. That's an oxymoron. That makes no sense. Just call Phil a loser. Okay. So there is something that no matter what you look like, what color your skin is, your dialect, how you speak, what your body shape is, all that, probably all throughout time as well, there is something that holds people back from a land of opportunities that they don't know about, or the potential for opportunities with a lot of failure. And that is not taking action when they need to just take action. Okay? We've overcomplicated everything. There are thousands of books on time management, and they're primarily all nonsense. How do I know they're nonsense? Because I've read a lot of them, the big ones, and they all give you tricks and gimmicks, and there's good things in these books. But if you actually think about what time management is, it's when you have something on your schedule, and you see it, and you say, I have to do this thing. And then you make yourself do it because you have no other choice. In the sense of getting it done, like a project. You don't have to do it, but you'll get fired, okay? So I did not want to make a YouTube video today. It happens probably 2 days a week out of the 5 or 6 days I do videos. One day is usually I really don't want to make a video. Say it was one of those days. I was up at 4:15 in the morning. I went to the new gym with my buddy. I had to come home, take Erica to the airport early, which pushed my schedule back. I had a little bit more things I had to do because we're not splitting the duties because Erica's away for 5 days. I had a bunch of one-to-one calls. I had a chiro patients. I had other obligations, and I've literally been back to back basically since 7:15 this morning. That's 3 p.m. And after this, I have my haircut, 2 chiro patients, and 2 more one-to-ones. I've made TikToks already, did all my moderating stuff, other business requirements I have to do. But the thing that held me back, that stopped me from making videos on these days, was just myself. That's it. No other excuse whatsoever. I had the time. I got to the barbershop early. I knew I could do it. I was like, okay, you could turn the video camera on right now and you can make a video. But I did not want to do that because I felt like I didn't want to do it. That's it. It's the only reason why I didn't do it, is because my body was screaming, don't make a video. Take the easy way out. And you're a human. If you make mistakes, you can forgive yourself. That's the difference between most people and with where I am. It's the biggest misconception about acceptance as well. People think acceptance means complacency, and they use acceptance in a bad way. They say, well, I can accept myself, so I just won't put the work in right now. That's not what acceptance means. Acceptance is this. Hey, I have things that I need to do in my life if I want to have the life I want to potentially live. On top of that, there's things that are good for me to do when it comes to OCD and anxiety recovery. Those are XYZ, ABC. No, I don't have to have it all done at once. But this idea that you could just accept that you'll make all these mistakes and you could just take your time, that's all good and fun. And there's absolutely merit in that. But you're using that as an excuse to not push yourself. And what you're doing is you're waiting for the right time to be there. That's never going to happen. This idea, these bros on social media that are like, just wait until you level up or you're locked in, and these nonsensical terms that we hear all the time. Well, what happens if you have another man that's better than you? You got to level up and to kind of show them who's boss. That's all childish talk. You focus on yourself, you focus on your belief systems, you focus on your behaviors, and you deal with the reality of life. What are those realities of life? Many people are probably not going to like you for numerous reasons, especially if you have a personality like mine. There's going to be people out there that don't think you're good looking in some ways. There's people out there who are extremely good looking that struggle with this because they're like, I'm always being hit on. I can't go to a bar without 15 fucking men coming up to me. That has a cons to it. It's not all pros. You're going to have failures in work. You're going to have hardships in your relationships or your marriage. You're going to have injuries if you play sports. And if you're waiting for the right time to go further in any of these endeavors, to try something new in your relationship, to work on your communication skills, to get back into rehab after an injury, within reason, you are going to stall and you're going to hit analysis paralysis and you're not really going to make a lot of progress. So one of my number one missions in life is to push myself further and further and further, because that's the way I want to live my life. And I do believe that most people want to live their life like that, but because they're so afraid of the outcomes, because they're so afraid of what if something goes wrong, they just don't push themselves anymore. And it's really sad. And I didn't want to live my life like that. So this is a great example. This idea that you need a perfect work scenario. I'm in my car. It's fucking freezing outside. It's like negative, I don't even know what it is. It's like 5 degrees Fahrenheit. So what is that? Negative like 7 Celsius or something. And I was really rushed, like I said. But I said to myself, you have a YouTube video on the docker today. You make that video. Of course, there are times where it doesn't get done. And I have the forgiveness of myself, which is, again, why people say, how can you be so disciplined? How can you be so all in all the time and not beat yourself up when you fail? And I fail a lot. I fuck up things a lot more than people think. And I mean, how many times have I told myself that I'm going to try to do something better and then I failed at that thing? But the reason why there's no anxiety and no panic is A, I'm not afraid of having a relapse, and B, I know I'm a human and humans make mistakes. So the person with good acceptance and good discipline and with passion and can push forward is more than likely going to succeed a lot more than the person that has passion, grit, determination, motivation, skills, but then they miss the key piece and they have conditional self-acceptance. Because what they'll do is they will berate themselves when they fail, which they ultimately will, which will stall their progress. This is where people get wrong. So you have to do things even when you don't want to do it. It's so critical. Phil@OCDrecovery.com. I have a bunch of really good videos coming up. I'm sure they'll either be out. Got one on maladaptive daydreaming. I have it on different sensory motor stuff like, like itching and stuff like that. Body sensations like pins and needles and numbness, which gets covered incorrectly by coaches, physical therapists, chiros, medical doctors, providers, neurologists, all the time. It's constant. The amount of people that come in with different hyper awarenesses and they're not talking to them about the potential psychological component is actually quite sad. So a lot more videos on that to come up. Phil@OCDrecovery.com. Thanks for listening. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.